This is the one conversation I wish I could have with anyone thinking about learning the piano. In my 25 years of playing the piano and 15 years of teaching, I've learned what actually matters and what can save beginner, intermediate, and even advanced pianists tons of time, frustration, and confusion. Hi, I'm Megan, and I'm a piano teacher, and on my channel, I share tips, tricks, and tutorials every single week. The truth is, we are floating in a sea of misinformation and fantastical claims online when it comes to learning the piano. If your YouTube ads look anything like mine, you probably can't go more than 24 hours without seeing something like, "It only takes 5 minutes a month to become a professional pianist with my very special course that only costs $18,000. Or, "This app will have your 5-year-old playing Beethoven in less than a week and you don't even need a piano. Your kid can become a world-class prodigy on just their iPad." Even I have to admit, these results sound pretty appealing. I mean, what I wouldn't give to be able to master all the pieces on my bucket list in a quarter or even a tenth of the time. That might even be worth $18,000. But are these claims and results realistic or even possible? Can you actually trust the approach of these apps, online courses, and piano gurus, or is it all a little too good to be true? Short answer, yep, it's too good to be true. I hate that you had to hear that from me. I hope you were sitting down, but I do know that we can get through this together. Longer answer, while it is definitely possible to get great results and have fun from these various online courses and apps, the results of the average student are not going to look anything like what is presented in those flashy commercials. And realistically, an overwhelming majority of great pianists, whether traditional classical, jazz pianists, pop pianists, didn't get where they are through some app or a magic course. And definitely not through 5 minutes of practicing a day or a week, and certainly not a month. Now, disclaimer, I am not against using any app or purchasing a course or following any online piano guru that you enjoy and you feel like is teaching you something. Learning the piano should be fun, and I support any resource that helps you on your piano journey. My critique is of the, in my opinion, unrealistic results for very little time commitment often portrayed by these programs. And I would love to believe that everybody sharing these really wild claims actually believes that they are possible and just wants to share the knowledge. But I fear that some may have the more nefarious goal of parting you from your hard-earned $18,000. And it breaks my heart when I work with students, especially adult beginners, who have completely unrealistic expectations for how fast they should be progressing, causing frustration, embarrassment, and even shame. I once had an adult beginner in her early 60s who, in my opinion, was making amazing progress in her first few months of lessons, especially for having no musical background. One lesson, she was playing for me a piece that she'd been working on for maybe a couple of weeks and played it really quite well with just a few mistakes, and she broke down in tears after playing it. She said that she had always felt insecure about not being artistic and not being musical, and was embarrassed by how badly she felt like she was doing in her lessons, despite my many compliments and encouragements to the contrary. I asked her where this idea that she was doing badly was coming from, and she told me that she had seen some videos online of students' progress using an app and the amazing pieces that they could play after just a couple of weeks. So she downloaded the app and, of course, didn't have anywhere near the amount of progress she saw in those videos. That's why I feel so passionate about this topic. It's not to discourage anyone from using resources that work for them, but I want to do my part to clear the air and debunk some of the unrealistic expectations these apps and courses often promote that hurt students and make them feel bad at piano and ultimately cause them to quit. So how do you achieve your goals? How do you learn to play your dream pieces, sight read with ease, improvise, play by ear, even write your own music, and what do you actually need to get there? In this 2-part series, I'm going to break down the 5 primary elements that contribute to your musical success and the rate of your progress, informed by my 15 years of teaching experience and by research. In part 1, we'll start with the 2 most important and underrated elements that are both completely within your control. And in part 2, we'll talk about 3 more elements that, while not as critical and controllable as the first 2, still have a profound effect on your progress and are particularly important if you have ambitious goals at the piano. So what's the secret sauce? The magic, the number one thing you need to become a world-class pianist. The biggest influence on how far you will go and how quickly you will progress. It's time. As simple and as unsexy as it is, it's time. Simultaneously, the simplest yet most difficult thing to come up with. Simple because it takes no fancy equipment, no special knowledge or education, and costs nothing. But so difficult because, while costing nothing, it is our most precious commodity. And for many of us, between our work, family, friends, and our endless to-do lists, spare time is in very short supply. However, consistently and ideally daily, devoting time to practicing the piano is the number one way to make progress. There is no method or hack that can outwork simply putting in the hours at the piano. Now, before you panic and think, great, I don't have 3 hours a day to put into the piano, so I might as well give up and not even try. That is most definitely not the case. In fact, I recommend that beginner all the way up to late intermediate pianists dedicate no more than 30 minutes to 1 hour a day to piano practice. So if you're in the category of people who can dedicate 30 minutes a day most days to practicing piano, know that this time and consistency is your most valuable tool for making progress at the piano. Work on building a solid daily practice routine, making your practice time more efficient. I have an upcoming video all about this topic. And don't get distracted by miracle hacks and approaches. There is no substitute for time and consistency. But what if you're in the camp of people who just can't dedicate 30 minutes a day to piano practice? Maybe you travel a lot, or are caring for young kids, or have a very demanding job, or for whatever reason, just can't put that time aside at the piano. Guess what? That's okay too. You can still learn the piano. Taking on a new hobby should be fun. And if you're able to escape the world for just a few minutes here and there to practice, you should enjoy every minute of it. Here's my task for you. Commit to yourself that you will not compare your progress to people that you see online or people that you even know in real life. Promise yourself that you will not be hard on yourself if you're not playing Chopin etudes within 6 months, like that 7-year-old that you saw on TikTok. Transparently, I've been playing piano for 25 years, and me and the Ocean Etude, we still have beef. Everyone's journey at the piano is going to look different, and if you are enjoying yourself, that is all that matters. Leave all timelines, benchmarks, and expectations behind. And remember that while time is the most important element of progress, it's not the only one. And the other factors that we're going to discuss in this series also make an impact on your progress. The next most important element is your mindset and adaptability. Having a positive growth mindset will help you stick with your piano journey for the long haul. Slow and steady wins the race. In the long term, a pianist who sticks with it through hurdles and challenges, focuses on making slow, consistent progress, and believes in their ability to succeed, is going to end up way more accomplished than one who burns out after 6 months. Being adaptable and willing to try new materials, practice strategies, and approaches is also key. If you try the same thing over and over again and it doesn't work, you have to be willing to pivot and seek out new guidance, try new materials, or a new practice technique. Now, an important caveat before we wrap up this video and move on to the next 3 elements in part 2. Notice that these first, most important items are almost completely within your control. And I truly believe that these 2 things, time and a positive mindset, are almost all you need to be able to achieve any reasonable goal at the piano and play tons of great music that you love. Notice I said almost and any reasonable goal. Unfortunately, you cannot hard work and positivity yourself into winning the Van Cliburn. That would fall under the category of unreasonable goal for 99.9999999% of pianists. To even dream of achieving that level of accomplishment, you have to have all 5 elements on this list in extreme abundance. But to be able to achieve a level that almost any pianist would dream of, to be able to sight read with ease, to be able to sit down and play your favorite classical and popular pieces, to play music with friends, to be able to compose, improvise, and understand music on a deeper level, time and the right mindset are all you need. The other elements on this list might help you progress more quickly and are necessary to achieve ambitious goals. But if you make the most of your time and your mindset, those 2 things alone can take you far. That's all for part 1 of this video. Be sure to tune in next week for the next 3 elements that can have a profound impact on your piano progress. Please share with me in the comments if you found this helpful, and also tell me what you're practicing this week. See you next time, and happy practicing!